They are turning her every which way but loose. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the land of Reckless Logicc. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack that notification bell so do not miss any more posts from me. Let's get straight into this video. Alrighty, guys. You guys already know why we're here. We are here because we're going to talk about Miss Checkerboard Dress herself, Milagro Gramz, aka Milagro Scams, aka Mammy Radio. So we're going to give some updates and talk about current events surrounding the lawsuit between Megan Thee Stallion and Mammy Radio. So apparently, Mammy Radio has created a GoFundMe account and she needs her supporters to help chip in to help her dig herself out of a situation that she put herself in. Apparently, Mammy Radio has filed or is attempting or threatening to file a cease and desist against Conscious TV, Megan Thee Stallion gagging Mammy Radio with a gag order, and then Mammy Radio sending or putting a indirect apology on social media to Megan Thee Stallion. So let me start with the GoFundMe account. If you are a supporter of Mammy Radio, and if you have put your hard-earned money into that GoFundMe account to help her financially with this lawsuit, you a damn fool. Reason being, you got me 50 shades of up. If you believe that you're going to put yourself in a situation to where you have to be sued for cyber stalking, and you think that me as a supporter, a rational supporter, is going to use my hard-earned money to get you out of a situation that you've had a plethora of opportunities to get out of. Megan Thee Stallion told you to back off. You didn't. Your own supporters told you to back off. You didn't. Alex Spiro told you to back off, and you did not. 3 strikes, you're out. You decided to continue with your bald head, and now you're finding out. This is an example of a person writing a check, but they have insufficient funds. You literally wrote a check that you could not cash. One thing I will say in terms of the Rooster, aka Miss Tasha K, she was right when she said in her video sometime bike, this ain't what you want. Megan Thee Stallion has wealth and resources, which means that if she wants to make you suffer financially because you made her suffer digitally, she can do that. She can drain your pockets. She can get you in trouble legally with the law. So you want to write a check and put yourself in a situation that had nothing to do with you, and you involving yourself. In addition, people in the situation, also your own viewers, are telling you you probably should back off a little bit or back off a lot, and you're not taking heed to that. And then you want those exact same audience members, supporters, to put their hard-earned money in a attempt to get you out of a situation that you willfully went into. Nah, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't. And another thing, I do want to say this. If that's the case, if you receive Zelle payments from Tory Lanez through his bald-headed, false prophet pappy, why don't you ask Tory Lanez to help aid in paying for your legal fees and paying for your lawyers? Since this is the exact same team, and since you were such a huge help to him throughout the public's eye, the general public, because you were aiding in spreading misinformation about a case that you knew the facts of. Why don't you ask Tori to help you with your fees? Why don't you ask Tori to help you fight her legally? But if you can't ask Tori, another question that I'm going to ask you: why don't you ask the Queen of Narcotics? Why don't you ask Nicki Minaj? This is an example of you putting yourself out there for people, but they're not willing to come to your aid when you are in deep shit. You were a lapdog for Tory Lanez. You were a lapdog for Miss Nicki Minaj. But now, when the lapdog is in trouble, they don't want to come with their leashes. This is what I meant when I said that in my previous video, that Tory Lanez's pathology, his behavior patterns, has always shown that when it comes down to black women specifically, all he does is uses black women, and then once he does not have use for them anymore, he discards of them. He did that with Megan. He did that with Kelsey. He did that with the fake colorism and sticking up for black women situation he tried to orchestrate. So, and that's your fault that you believe that you were going to be different. Now, let's get into this Miss Cease and Desist, girl. This, I'm not gonna lie, when I heard the story and I seen the story about the cease and desist, and she's trying to give a cease and desist to my bitch, Conscious TV, I'm like, the first thought that popped in my head, like, girl, you have bigger fish to fry. You are trying to put your resources, your money, your lawyer, your attorney's attention on the wrong things. You need to worry about the Teflon Don in the courtroom. You need to worry about this case so you don't be slam dunked in the penitentiary. That's what you need to be worried about. You should not be wasting your resources on cease and desist on content creators that are actually using your words and your own behavior. Because if your own legal team is telling you that maybe you should handle things much differently, because as of right now, you are at the grace of Megan Thee Stallion. We are at the grace of the plaintiff. You honestly, especially if you already have a GoFundMe and you're already asking for nickels, quarters, and dimes, you don't need to be using the nickels, quarters, and dimes that you already have accumulated on cease and desist. You need to be using those nickel, quarters, and dimes for Megan Thee Stallion, just in case you can't get her to forgive you and not take you to trial, and to kind of like not make this, or not make arrangements for this situation to go away, which I don't believe it is. And I hope it don't, to be completely honest with you. And let's also get to the idea, I'm not going to say that, the fact that you did this. It's not like Conscious TV is lying on you. It's not like he is telling narratives, even though that's what you did. It's not like he is purposefully, willfully leaving out information about the actions and things that you've done. Because let's be very clear, you can't sue, cease and desist, destroy, whatever legal tactics that you're trying to utilize. You can't be successful in these said tactics when people are telling the truth about you. I'm gonna say this. Conscious TV, his lives can be 3 to 4 hours long. That's my bitch. The live can be 3 to 4 hours long on a subject, because he done opened the panel, he done went through his commentary, he done showed this, showed that. But one thing I will say, a very consistent theme, is that It may be 3 to 4 hours long, but it's 3 to 4 hours long of him saying his opinion of why he believes certain things or what he believes in terms of the topic. But then after that, he's going to show you what you said or what you did to make that made him believe what he believes. That's going to support his thought process. So if you are saying something or doing something, he's going to show it. That's what happens. So you are also realizing that the bald-headed that you did on social media is coming back to bite you in the ass. So this moves me to my next point, because now we're going to moonwalk our way to the gag order. Megan Thee Stallion gagging you with the gag order. I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to be honest with you. Am I shocked about the gag order? No, I'm not, because to be completely honest, it's the same thing that Megan Thee Stallion did in terms of Tory Lanez when she had to shut him up. Because let's be clear, the gag order, my only thought in terms of the gag order is that if Milagro Gramz would have acted as if she was already on a gag order, a lot of these Megan Thee Stallion team would not have so much of a stance in terms of this lawsuit. If she never would have got her ad on Station Head, talking her cash money, she would not really be in this situation. If she was not on X putting out tweets, she would not be on this situation. If she would not be in this situation. If she was not trying to promote a fake AI video, corn video, she would not be in this situation. Because some things besides the fake AI video, some things would have fell under the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. But where she went wrong is when you went to promote a fake AI corn video of Megan Thee Stallion, and you saying that, oh, I didn't think it was real, but not realizing that you're only thinking, at the time you're only having surface level thinking, and you're not realizing that you just admitted, whether you realize it or not, is that what you did by sharing or advertising that fake AI corn video of Megan Thee Stallion is that you did it maliciously because you knew it was fake, to your point. And the point that Alex Spiro was making was that, girl, we're not saying that, we're not asking you if you knew that the video was fake. We're asking and actually telling you that our claim is that you knew it was fake, but you shared it anyway, and you had malicious intent, which did what? It allowed Alex Spiro to go down the rabbit hole. Okay, she shared this video because of what? Because she has a connection to Tory Lanez. Why does she have a connection to Tory Lanez? I believe that because she has a connection to Tory Lanez, let's start to subpoena some phone calls. Oh, and then once they get into the phone calls, you hear Tory Lanez and his shiny head pappy, the false prophet, kikiing and kakaing about how Megan Thee Stallion will not be able to prove that they are connected to or connected with or grouped up with Milagro scams. Then that leads to Alex Spiro getting those Zelle payments records. So you put yourself in this situation. That's why me personally, I don't feel bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. Sorry, I don't feel bad. It's the fact that all she had to do was stick to the facts. If she was going, the best way I can put it is this. If she was, when I say she, Miss Scams, if Milagro Gramz would have just stuck to the facts, if she would have been objective, she never would have subjected herself to the wrath. Because you had your mammy cape on, trying to be a mammy and protect a group of mother that don't deserve it and who have done the dirt. Now when karma's knocking on their front door, trying to wrap them up, you too busy being in the way, to the point to where karma like, okay, so I'm gonna gather both of y'all up since you don't want to move out the way and he's my intended target. I'm just gonna grab both of y'all. And now you boohoo crying, and now you shook and nervous because Nicki Minaj won't help you, Tory Lanez abandoned you, Megan Thee Stallion is on your neck. You don't have no finances. You don't have enough to cover. In addition, you are connected with the same lawyer firm that got their ass whooped in court by Megan Thee Stallion and Alex Spiro the first go round. And for you to have proximity to a man that ooted this woman and almost took her life, or well, it really could have taken her life. And then now that I'm thinking about it, allegedly, someone that you know, I want to say, is it Noir, King Noir? I forgot his name exactly. But he's a legend that you knew from the start that Tory Lanez had ooted this woman. Allegedly, that you knew from the start. So these are the things that are coming up and coming out that makes people not feel bad, like myself, that don't feel bad because you had malicious intent, which I already kind of had a feeling about. It's because at some point you have to ask, what are your intentions when it came down to the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion case? Because as things started to progress, and especially knowing that you were present for the case inside of the courtroom, you maliciously misconstrued information. Now let's get into this apology. Actually, let me pull it up. Is this going to go on? Okay, there we go. So let's get into this. So this is the apology that Miss Mammy Radio wanted to issue to Megan Thee Stallion. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to have to take this apology in dosages. Okay? In dosages. So it says, something significant needs to be addressed, but to be as sensitive to the circumstances as possible. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable by speaking directly to them. Now, of course, you guys can see this is brought to you guys by my bitch, Conscious TV. So let's dissect that first part. What you mean you don't want to direct this to Megan Thee Stallion when she directed her lawsuit to your ass? What do you mean you don't want to direct an apology, especially under these circumstances where you will be, more than likely, will be going to trial? No, I'm going to direct my apology and I'm going to at Megan Thee Stallion. So if or when I have to bring this up as evidence to show mercy that I was sorry about what I done, even though if this is performative or not, I need to make it this as clear as possible. Oh, I was talking to Megan Thee Stallion, I added her and all these other things. But let me continue. Something significant needs to be addressed, but to be as sensitive to the circumstances as possible. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable by speaking directly to them. When I use my platform to express my thoughts and ideas, I hurt someone. I wonder who that someone is, but I'm gonna continue. My lack of regard for how my words could have affected the people associated with my topics of discussion led to pain, and that truly was never my intention. This is where I gotta stop again, because girl, you done lost your mind. Because now this is another issue in terms of apologies. It's because what people do, they like to moonwalk out of accountability. Because a part of apologies is, for one, understanding how the other person feels, understanding what you actually did to them, understanding their perspective, so that you can build a rapport, and it's more, and they can and so it makes it easier for them to understand that you know the damage that you've caused, that you know what you did to them. The other part of an apology is to fully own what you did, not to downplay it, not to try to manipulate it in some, even though this is the worst attempt ever, because everything she did was on social media and it was clear as day. The only people who really believe her are just as delusional as she is. I digress. But to own every aspect of your actions and to stand in that. Girl, you talking about that was not my intention, but when Megan Thee Stallion came out and said that she was it really hurt her that people were saying X, Y, and Z about her even after the verdict and other evidence came out, you decided to tiptoe and make your way over to X, formerly known as Twitter, y'all, like she did right here, and say that, oh, if you don't like it, you can get over it or go away. Then you also, and because I'm thinking about it right now, and you came out your mouth and said that, alleged that she was an alcoholic and that she needed a handler and yada 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 yada. After, girl, you are not owning it. This is the reason why she's gonna dog walk you throughout the judicial system, because you talk out of both sides of your neck. One end is the I'm sorry. Next end is that she should have came to me. Those two don't work, because if you have hurt a person and they are the victim of your behavior, why should the victim, who has done nothing wrong to you, have to come to you to get an apology when you know what you're doing? You're very intentional about what you did. That's the reason why you was presenting misinformation to the general public, because you was being intentional about what you did. You knew what you were doing. That's the reason why you were on a 3-year contract receiving $3,000 from Tory Lanez and the false prophet. You knew what you were doing. Let me continue. There is never a day where I would want my behavior to cause someone to want to remove themselves from this life ever. Girl, bye. Let me continue. I have never been offered nor accepted money or anything else to speak ill of someone. This is another part of the BS. Right here. That line right there. Because, girl, you set your fat face ass in that courtroom, presented misinformation on a case that you were present for. You heard the firearm going off, because girl, I gotta try to switch out some of these words because of YouTube. You heard the firearm going off. You heard Sean Kelly's testimony. We already talked about the inconclusive DNA. Inconclusive does not mean that he is ruled out. That does not mean you can rule him in or rule him out, which means that other factors in a case are going to also have to be considered. but you purposefully, because of said, in my personal opinion, because of said Zelle payments, because of said proximity, and because of the traction and attention that you gained from this case. But let me continue. I have never been offered nor accepted money or anything else to speak ill of someone. The platform that hosts any related videos were not and are not monetized. And so I did not make a profit from these things. But that's the thing, baby girl. You received Zelle payments from the false prophet, which we can only assume is from Tory Lanez. You received those Zelle payments. And only God knows what else you received. Because the same way that you were very clear about calling Megan Thee Stallion a liar, we can say the same thing for you, because you also made it very clear to say that you never took anything off your social media, but just for us to come to find out in my Kelsey voice that you were taking videos, posts, whatever you felt like was very kind of sketchy in terms of this lawsuit when that motion was amended. You were taking posts down. You said that you never received anything and I can never be bought. But then we come to find out, like I said 2.5 seconds ago, that you were on a 3-year contract receiving $3,000 from 2 leprechauns. And one of the leprechauns is slam dunked in the state or federal penitentiary. But then you have a nerve to say that Megan Thee Stallion is unstable when you are the person that allowed a leprechaun that is behind bars to control you and rule you. A man in chains is going to tell you how to do it and what to do and coerce you to do it. Girl, bye. So this also goes to another example of what I said earlier, how in the case, in the lawsuit, where Alex Spiro was making the claim that you had malicious intent, and Milagro Gramz and her team and or her team, because I don't freaking know, but they all won to me. Milagro Gramz missed the mark where she said that, oh, I knew that the fake AI corn video was fake, but you didn't know that you were confirming his stance, which meant that, girl, that means you had malicious intent. Because what would be the purpose for sharing a fake AI corn video of a person? The purpose would be to humiliate them, which means that does not mean you had good intentions. That means you had malicious intent. And so when she said the platforms that host any related videos were not and are not monetized, so I did not make a profit from these things, girl, you made a profit through those Zelle payments. You made a profit, or you gained something through the traction from to your platforms because of the case. You gained something from this because you had proximity in your Fashion Nova pieces. Acted a plum fool at the courthouse. I was overzealous in the pursuit of what I thought the truth was. Girl, you knew that was not the truth. Because according to, I want to say his name was King Noir. According to him, you knew that that man ooted that woman. Now, he may not have meant to do it, but he still did it. Of what I thought the truth was. And that the reality is that doesn't make anything a fact. I apologize and I am deeply remorseful for the harm that I've caused. So let me just take this off my screen for 2 points. Let me go back. Okay, here's the thing. In terms of that apology is BS. Everything that about this case in terms of Milagro scams has been a scam. It's been BS because now that you are being snatched by the baby hairs and that new growth in the back by the Teflon Don, and she's swinging you every which way but loose, and we haven't even gotten to the trial, and you already tapping out. Now you want to issue this fake apology. Now you want to downplay your involvement in the case. Now you want to scrape your social media of certain activity and posts that you had previously had up on your page. But even that is nonsensical. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, because you do know that these are celebrities, right? Like, you do know that there are content creators like Coffee City, Impressive, that report on celebrities, and specifically with those two specific pages, they also add receipts. So since you are a huge content creator, or a content creator that people recognize, because I really don't know how many subscribers you have, but you see you have some traction over there. You do know, if you are a huge content creator and you are talking about said celebrities, and it seems to get a lot of traction, that it did, and you're acting a fool and acting like Zeus Network at this courthouse and putting out misinformation about a case, people like Coffee City and or Impressive and or Lovely T are going to report on you and Megan Thee Stallion and include your receipts. So you taking your activity or post off of social media is not going to make any sense. In addition, what I said previously in my last video, I don't know if you realize this, but when lawyers file their complaints, file their motions or their suits or whatever, you do have to realize they already have the evidence, because they know that when that motion gains some traction and it's been certified and solidified in the courts and it's an official thing and you can see the paperwork in Pacer, they know that you're going to try to clean up your steps. So they already got the evidence before they even filed or said anything to you. So it doesn't make any sense you trying to make that stuff disappear, in my personal opinion. Now, do I believe that the apology was sincere? No, I don't believe the apology was sincere, because, for one, the timing. The timing is very convenient. Now that you have been slapped up a bit, because, to be completely honest, in my personal opinion, especially if this goes to trial, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Now, all of a sudden, you want to have this remorse. It's very performative, in my personal opinion. Now you want to have this remorse, because not too long ago, you was talking that Cash Money, and you were saying that you had a nasty piece of a counter suit, and Rock Nation, they're not going to do me like this. I'm not going to take this. And you were standing on your square. But now, all of a sudden, that you realize there's no hope for you to win this case, now all of a sudden you want to get to apologizing. Which leads me to my next point, which I've been saying throughout this video. Her stance on the situation. She talks out of both sides of her neck. 1 minute, it's I'm not going to take this from Rock Nation. I got a counter suit. Then the next minute, I'm sorry, Megan, I deeply apologize. But at the same time, on the front end, you were talking that Cash Money, but then on the back end, you're trying to settle. What do you think? Did you really believe that a person like Megan Thee Stallion, or someone in general that has some damn sense, was going to allow, especially when they have wealth, allow you to make settlement agreements to make this disappear when you talking your Cash Money and continuously talking your Cash Money on social media, especially when you were connected to a person that almost took me the fuck up out of here and almost sent me on the glory? And you had a personal connection with that person, and you were on a mission because you had a 3-year contract, receiving $3,000 to put out misinformation and to have people looking at me crazy, when, to King Noir's point, you knew the truth the whole entire time? Oh, baby, no, you finna get this work. And you weren't helping you weren't helping your case. Let's talk about the backlash that she received in Miss Mammy Radio. When fans started to give her backlash because she started to apologize and she turned over a new leaf and all these things, girl, like, that's part of the problem. Part of the problem is that you keep trying to prove something to the public. Forget the public. You need to be proving all of your to Megan Thee Stallion. And I also think that's part of another part of the issue too. What I keep saying, even in my previous video, and I believe I said it here too. Your lawyers keep telling you to shut the up, and if they're not telling you that, they should have been telling you that. Shut the up. You keep speaking and talking about the case openly, knowing that Alex Spiro has shown you they're watching you. And you're getting into details about certain things. They're listening to you. They're screen recording you. And let's just say Alex Spiro, Megan Thee Stallion aren't, or people in their circle aren't screen recording you. Your ops are screen recording you. Other content creators are watching you because this is a trending topic. Because when you start to go into detail, that's when people can start to compare the specifics of the case. Like, okay, she said on her live not too long ago that she was home at midnight. But then over here, the evidence shows that she actually got home at 5 o'clock the next morning. So she lied to us, and there seems to be inconsistencies. Now, keep in mind, y'all, I'm just using it as an example. But it still stands. Oh, she said that that was never her intention. But she responded directly to Megan Thee Stallion through social media after Megan Thee Stallion told a lot of content creators that she felt bad and it made her feel a certain type of way that people were saying these things about her. Those two are two huge inconsistencies. I'm just going to leave all of that right there. But that is it for my video for today, guys. Please make sure you guys pop that like button. Y'all let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Give me your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys got to say. But that is it for my video for today, guys. Please make sure you guys pop that like button. Hit the subscribe button. And please, please, please smack the notification bell so do not miss any of my posts from me. Till next time, guys, I will see you guys later. Deuces.